you have to go and sell these ideas to your people, your constituents, who probably still think of infrastructure the way we all do traditionally. How do you sell them on, hey, let's get involved in caregivers and things like that in infrastructure?
Well, first of all, I think all four of these issues that you just used as examples are critical. And I think there's also general agreement that we're going to have to do something on building out an electric vehicle infrastructure if we are going to transition this country to electric vehicles. But here's the fact of the matter. The Webster Dictionary gives the definition of infrastructure as being a foundation, a framework. The Oxford Dictionary says it's basic systems that allow a country or an organization to operate effectively, as you just said in your opening remarks. In this country, we are going to have, the population is going to triple of those seniors over 85 by 2050. And if there are going to be 40 million people over that are going to be seniors in 2050. The long-term care system is so broken in this country, and people don't know it. We're one of the only industrialized countries in the world that doesn't do something about it. Until you're a caregiver or you are in the system, you don't understand how broken it is. I know I'm luckier than 99 and 9/10 of the people. You can't find help. The people that are the caregivers many of them are working 2 jobs and still at the poverty line. They're not given any benefits. And yet we have a responsibility in this country to take care of our seniors, to take care of our communities and our society. It's critical. And we've got to do something about it. And the time is now. Coming out of COVID, when we've seen the fracture in our society, we've seen the disaster that COVID created.
How do you fight look, it's not a weirdly conservative idea that infrastructure is roads and ports and highways and things like that. We've all kind of grown up thinking about it. And, someone made a good point to me the other day that before we had the interstate highways, you didn't think of that as infrastructure because you hadn't had it. Now it seems obvious to us, well, it's highways and it's going to be broadband. How do you sell this to people? Is there resistance to the idea that there's $2 trillion in here and most of it isn't going toward the things that most people think are infrastructure? Because it's an allegation that Republicans are making that this is just Democratic policy that they're calling infrastructure.
Well, first of all, let me be really clear. If you're out in the real world, Republicans are trying to use those talking points. But when you talk about broadband, we have a lack of broadband, the disparities for our children as they've been trying to learn from home, and the lack of broadband in both rural areas and urban areas has just been brought to home. And I think Republicans and Democrats are supporting that. And many people want to go to electric vehicles. All of the auto companies, both foreign and domestic, are saying that they're going to build electric vehicles, but nobody's going to buy them until they're sure that they've got both range and they're going to have the ability that if they need to recharge, they can charge. So I don't have a hard time selling that. I think that there is agreement that we have to address that as a community. I have very long, thoughtful conversations with people about caregiving in this country. We just look at what's happened and how women have been forced out of the workforce in the past year. I think COVID has been a nightmare. It's turned our world upside down, but it is an opportunity for us to look at where the fractures are and what we need to fix. And I'll remind you that no one can imagine their life without Social Security now, but we came out of the Great Depression, and that was called socialism and communism back then. And I would argue Social Security is part of our infrastructure and the caring for people in this country as well.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.